There's nothing like holding something you just made and realizing it didn't exist an hour ago. But that moment doesn't happen by accident. It's not just a machine, it's time, it's patience, it's a little bit of frustration. And if you understand that, it's completely worth it. Let's talk about what it's like owning a 3D printer. Hey guys, it's Spencer with Tech with Spencer, and I've been running the Bamboo Lab H2D printer for a while now, and I've already done a full Truth After 6 Months breakdown if you want deep performance details. But today, this isn't about specs. This is about 3D ownership experience. What is it actually like owning a 3D printer? We're going to talk about the honeymoon phase, the mistakes, the hidden costs, the time commitment, and the part nobody really ever explains, whether you're the kind of person who actually likes to tinker or just wants it to work. Because owning a 3D printer isn't just about print quality, it's about the actual experience. The first few weeks of owning a 3D printer are awesome. You watch the layers go down and it almost doesn't feel real. You're taking a digital file you found online and you're turning it into something special. That first successful print, oh my gosh, that is such a cool moment. And then it starts. You get hooked. You look around the house thinking, what else can I print? And that excitement is real. But after that honeymoon phase wears off, that's when you start learning what owning a 3D printer actually means. I can almost guarantee you, once you get a 3D printer, you're going to print so much stuff you don't actually use. Stuff that seems cool but ends up sitting in a drawer. It's fine, everybody does it. You find something online at midnight and you think, yeah, that's useful, that could work, so you print it. You try it once and then it lives in your drawer forever. And that's fine. 3D printing starts as a novelty before it becomes a utility. At the beginning, you're just excited everything works. Eventually though, you stop printing random things and start trying to solve real problems. Eventually you stop printing random things and you start trying to solve real problems. And that's when you realize it's not just press print. Even with a machine like the H2D, most of the time it works. But the second you want to change something, that's when the learning starts. I was printing an enclosure for a Raspberry Pi and I wanted to add a cutout for a small OLED screen that shows system stats. It's not complicated, it's literally just a hole. So I modified the model in Bamboo Studio, I exported it, sliced it, and started to print. 7 hours later, the screen didn't fit. The hole wasn't too small, it was just slightly offset. Just enough that the screen wouldn't sit correctly. And it's so frustrating. It wasn't the printer, it wasn't the filament, it was me. I didn't account for tolerances properly. I didn't line it up perfectly in Bamboo Studio, and sometimes that lesson costs you 7 hours and a ton of filament. And it doesn't have to be a 7-hour print. Sometimes it's a small part that you redo 3 times and it's so frustrating. Sometimes it prints perfectly, but doesn't actually fit where you thought it would. That's just part of 3D printing. You're not just printing, you're learning. I want you to tell me what's the most frustrating print that you have had. Was it something that failed right at the end, or was it something you had to redo multiple times because it finally worked? Drop it in the comments because honestly, I'd love to hear it. I know I'm not alone. This leads into something else nobody really talks about, and I found out quickly, the time commitment. The other part nobody really talks about is time. Not just printing time, design time, tweaking time, measuring something twice because you don't want to waste another 7 hours, watching the first layer to make sure it sticks, reprinting when it doesn't. It's not hard, but it's not passive either. Owning a 3D printer isn't like buying a gadget. It's more like owning a tool. Over time, you realize you're not just printing things. You're investing time into learning how things fit together. That's where the skill comes from. And this is the part I wish people explained better. There isn't a good and bad 3D printer. There's tinker and there's just print. Some people enjoy figuring things out. They don't mind adjusting settings. They like understanding why something doesn't work. For them, the printer itself is part of the hobby. The friction is part of the fun. Other people don't want to troubleshoot. They don't want to spend evenings tweaking settings. They want reliable results. They want it to feel like a tool, and there's nothing wrong with that. Usually, the more you move towards just print, the more you're paying for reducing friction. Not always, but often. So the real question isn't which printer is best, it's what's worth it to you. Is it worth spending more to save time, or would you rather invest the time and learn? What fits your process? When people talk about cost, they usually just talk about the printer, but that's not the full picture. Filament adds up. It's not crazy expensive, but when you start printing regularly and have a ton of colors, you go through it way faster than you think. Then there are all the extras, the tools, the nozzles, the accessories, different materials, different build plates. You don't just buy a printer, you build around it. None of this is outrageously priced, but it is real. And honestly, the bigger cost isn't always the money. It's the time, it's the attention, it's the mental space of constantly thinking, I could print that. Once you've had a printer for a while, something shifts. You stop looking at things the same way. At some point, you stop asking, should I buy this? And you start thinking, could I make this? A small bracket, a mount, a cable organizer, a replacement part, something that doesn't quite exist the way that you need it. There's going to be a day a switch just flips in your brain. Instead of searching for it online, you start thinking about how to build it. And when you finally print it and it fits, that hits different. That's not the same as clicking add to cart. You're not just owning a machine, you're building a skill. You're learning how to solve problems in a physical way, and it's extremely satisfying when it works. So the real question isn't whether 3D printing is worth it. It's whether you enjoy solving problems this way. Do you like figuring things out? Do you mind reprinting something when it doesn't fit? Are you okay spending a few hours learning something new, or does it sound exhausting? Because if you enjoy the process, if you like building things, if you don't mind a little friction, you can absolutely do this. You don't need to be an engineer. You don't need to be a CAD expert. You just need patience. But understand what you're getting into. It's not just like buying a machine and hitting print. It's time. It's filament. It's a desk that slowly fits up. It's reprinting something because you missed a millimeter. But there's nothing like holding something you made and realizing it didn't exist a few hours ago. If that sounds exciting to you, it's worth it. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Just make sure you're choosing the experience that fits you. If you're tired of surface level tech reviews and you want real ownership experience, the good, the bad, the frustrating, and everything in between, that is exactly what this channel is about. 3D printing, drones, smart gear, creator tools. We don't skimp. We go deep. Subscribe for more, and thank you so much for watching.